Let's jump into problem 15.3a. We're buying back and canceling, retiring a bunch of common shares. So don't confuse this with treasury stock. If you're interested in treasury stock problems, that's in the appendix to this chapter. I do have a good treasury stock problem waiting for you there. This is we're buying back the shares and canceling them, which I think is more common, honestly, than holding as treasury stock. Part 1. No par shares. So Luco Company's December 31st, 2030 balance sheet shows the following. They've got common shares, 10,000 no par shares issued and outstanding, $100,000. So that means our average issue was $10 per share, right? That's what's sort of implied by the math there, $100,000 for 10,000 shares. On May 1st, 2031, the company buys back and cancels 1,000 shares at $8 a share. Okay, when we buy back for above, as we're going to do, it goes to retained earnings. It's almost like a loss, right? You've issued something for $10 and you buy it back for $13. You're losing money on that deal. It goes to retained earnings. When we buy back and it's kind of like a gain, it goes to, in Canada, contributed surplus, in the US, additional paid in capital. And we'll look at that in our journal entries. And we'll look at that now, actually. May 1st, we buy back 1,000 and we can cancel 1,000 shares at $8 a share. Okay, let's do it. So this is part 1. And this is May 1st. My table is shaking on me right now. I don't know what's going on. I'm writing very powerfully today. Hopefully this is a powerful answer. Okay, we bought back the shares for 8 times 1,000, $8,000 cash, right? Like that's how you buy back shares. You pay $8,000 cash. We're getting rid of, though, 1,000 $10 shares, right? So it's $10,000 worth of common shares that are being canceled. How do you cancel or retire a share? You debit common shares or your share capital account here for $10,000, and then we're off by $2,000. As I said, we're kind of like on the gain side, right? We're missing a credit, almost like gain on sale, gain on repurchase. If this were on the loss side, we would debit retained earnings. Since it's on the gain side, the credit side, we don't credit retained earnings. We credit, if you're in the U.S., additional paid in capital on repurchase. In Canada, contributed surplus on repurchase. So we'll do the U.S. terminology, APIC repurchase, I'll say. And it's $2,000, and there we go. We've got our May 1st item in the bag. Now on August 31st, and the reason you'll notice in these questions, I always do a sort of gain version and then a loss, and you'll see why in a second. So we repurchase and cancel 2,000 shares at $13 a share, so it's $26,000, I think. Yeah. So credit cash, $26,000. We're going to cancel those common shares. And the amount of common shares was 2,000 shares. The average, again, price is $10 a share. So that's $20,000 worth of shares getting canceled. So this represents like a loss situation, right? I paid $26,000 to buy back $20,000 worth of shares, according to my books, $6,000 down the tubes. You would think, okay, well, debit either APIC or retained earnings here for the difference, 6,000. But actually, if we have this account that says, oh, we've got this surplus from buying back our shares, $2,000, we wipe out the surplus first. So we got to get rid of that account. So again, my Canadian brothers and sisters, you're going to be using a contributed surplus account here. Americans will use this paid in capital repurchase account. We'll wipe that out, and then the balance goes to retained earnings. So 4,000 to retained earnings. And there we go. We've finished part 1. Part 2 is the exact same problem, just with par value. So we got par value of $1, and you can see $10,001 par share. So it's $10,000, 10,000 times 1. And then they already had an additional paid in capital, or if you're in Canada, contributed surplus account with $90,000 sitting in it. In that same capital, right? 100,000 in total. So on May 1st, the company buys back and cancels 1,000 shares at $8 a share. So this is May 1st, 2031. We're going to credit cash. Leave a bit of room for some debits here for $8,000, $8 a share, 1,000 shares. we got to cancel those shares at par. So we debit common shares to get rid of them. And the amount here was, well, it's 1,000 shares. The par is $1. So this is $1,000 to cancel those common shares. We also have to get rid of the paid-in capital on those common shares, the additional paid-in capital. So you can see it's 10,000 shares. We have $90,000. This is $9 per share in additional paid-in capital. Well, we're getting rid of 1,000 shares, so that's $9,000 of additional paid-in capital needs to go away. And then we're in the exact same position we were up above. We got rid of $10,000 of share capital. For $8,000 cash, we're left missing a $2,000 credit, and it goes to the same account as it did above. Credit additional paid-in capital on the repurchase APIC, which I would treat as a different account than just sort of our additional paid-in capital on the sale of shares. So I would not net these two. Okay, so there you go. And again, my Canadian cousins, this was all going to contributed surplus accounts. Let's continue now on August 31st, 2031. We buy back the shares for more than their initial issuance would have been, right? $10 on average is what we issued them for in the past. So let's credit cash. $13 a share, 2,000 shares, that's $26,000. Let's get rid of the common shares. We're canceling 2,000 common shares, par value $1 a share, so that's $2,000 worth of shares to be canceled. We're also canceling 2,000 shares worth of additional paid-in capital, which is $9 a share. It's $18,000 of additional paid-in capital, aka contributed surplus, to be written away. And we're, as we were up above, you can see debits of 20, credits of 26. We're off by 6,000. Now, had we not done this entry, we would debit retained earnings for 6,000. Because we have this repurchase paid-in capital account sitting there, we got to wipe it out. So I'm going to get rid of the additional paid-in capital from my earlier repurchase that was just sitting there. It's got to go. And the balance goes to retained earnings, $4,000. And there we go. We have balanced journal entries. 15.3a is in the books. One thing left to do, smash one of those buttons and say goodbye. Goodbye. The next video in our series is right up here, and if you want a supercut of all of the videos in this series, that's the one down below.